In this video, I'm going to talk about iterations versus hours. So, basically, how do you accomplish a goal that you have set for yourself? You would say, well, hard work. Like, you would work on something that will get you closer to that goal. So, you put in the hours, right? You put in some amount of time, effort into it, and you work hard so that you can accomplish that goal, right? And that is one kind of parameter that decides your success in accomplishing that goal, right? But there's also another parameter, that is iterations. And iterations and hours are not the same. Iterations are like repetitions of the same thing, of doing the same thing that will get you closer to that particular goal that you have set for yourself, right? And the difference between them is like this: when you talk about hours, you're talking about the time you have put in into doing that thing that will get you closer to your goals. So let's say you put in you like if you had to like compare, um, for example, two people, right? There's one person that puts in 10 hours of his day doing this thing, and there's another person that puts in 6 hours of his day doing the thing that will get them closer to their goals, and their goals are the same, right? Their goals are exactly the same, and one person amongst them puts in 6 hours and the other puts in 10 hours. Now like generally we would agree that the person that puts in 10 hours will get better and faster results, but that is not entirely true, right? It is not always true that it is going to happen, but you still can say that maybe in most of the cases it will, right? But you can't just put in more hours and get in and just expect that you will get faster and better results, because it doesn't always happen. And that is kind of like the problem with a particular mindset, that if you just put in more hours and hours and hours of work into something, that you will get to that goal faster and you will get to a better position than if you had put in less hours. And it is not always the case. What makes a difference is that amount of iterations you do and how efficient you are in those iterations and how concentrated you are while doing those iterations. But mainly we are going to focus on the number of iterations, right? So the same example, if the guy that works for 6 hours on his goal, right, if he does 20 repetitions of the thing that will get him closer to his goals, and the guy that puts in 10 hours does 15 repetitions of the thing that will get him closer to his goals, then the guy with the 20 iterations, even though he has only put in just 6 hours of his day, will get better results, because it's actually more about how much of you do in those hours and not about just how many hours you put in, right? So it's basically like this, that whenever you have set a goal and you are like not getting closer to it, you can just think that I need to put in more hours. And 99% of the time that is the case, because in like modern society we don't actually put in that many hours into something and stay focused at it, and that's why we never actually accomplish our goals, right? But the point is, sometimes it just happens that it's not about the hours that you are putting in, it's about the iterations. So I have felt this currently. I'm feeling it right now, that I used to put in a lot of hours into my study, but I still didn't get like enough results. And like I would say right now, the hours that I'm putting in is approximately equal to the hours I was putting in before. It's maybe a bit more, maybe 1 or 2 hours more, but the point is, like, the efficiency has increased a lot. And what I have learned from this is, right, that your efficiency matters more than the hours that you put in. Your amount of iterations matter more than the amount of hours you have put in, right? If you can get like a task, if you can repeat a task 6 times in 6 hours compared to if you can like repeat a task 6 times in 8 hours. It's just better to do it 6 times in 6 hours, because how many times you do something will get you better at that thing rather than focusing on the amount of hours you have put in, because the hours are just like a vague parameter that you just have in your mind that if I just put in more of my time into this thing, I will get better at it. But that is actually not never true. It's more about how efficient you can be. So the point is that whenever you're feeling like you have put in the hours and you're still not getting to your goals, the answer to that question is not just that just put in more hours and put in more hours and you will just get to it, right? You might never get to it like that if you just keep putting in more hours, and then maybe there will come a time where you are like putting 16 hours of your day into some single task and then you're still not getting better at it, because now your efficiency is like your efficiencies would be like less than 50% for more than 50% of the time of those 16 hours. But if you had put in just 8 hours, your efficiency would have been 75% for more than 75% of your 8 hours. So that's better because you got more iterations done in less amount of hours compared to getting less iterations done in more amount of hours and feeling even more exhausted and still not getting to your goals. So what was the point of that if you never actually get better at your goals? Because like the amount of hard work you put in doesn't actually matter, right? The amount of hours you put in doesn't actually matter, the results does. So like everything is just result oriented. If you do not get to your goals, nobody gives a fuck about your hard work, right? If you do not get to your goals, nobody gives a fuck about your hard work and the time you have put in. So the point is, if you really need to get to your goals, it's not that you always focus on hours, right? Sometimes what you do is you create a plan of how you can work the same put in the same amount of hours, but increase the efficiency of the hours by maybe having a better rest time. And sometimes it does help, right? If you just think that you can sleep like 3 hours in a day and then put in 18 hours of work and it will help you more, then you are in 90% of the cases wrong. It would just be better to sleep for 6 to 7 hours, 8 hours, and put in just 10 hours into that work, because your efficiency will increase 5 times. So the point is that you need to find sometimes when you cannot just like push yourself with the amount of hours that you are putting in for your particular goal, what you need to do then is not actually increase the amount of hours and just then get even more exhausted and like decrease your efficiency even further. Rather than, what you can do is find ways that you can have a better rest time, so that you, like for example, like how you can improve your sleep, so that when your sleep improves, you feel more rested throughout the day and you have more energy and therefore your efficiency increases. Or maybe find ways that you can um, create such a type of schedule that will help you to even increase the efficiency of those hours even more. Like maybe if it doesn't work for you to work 5 hours straight, what you can do is like create a plan of working for 2 hours and then taking a break of half an hour and like something like that, right? So the point is, when you cannot actually increase the amount of hours that you have that you can put in for some kind of work, but that is actually mostly not the case. This is something that I'm talking about only like a fraction of people. Generally it would be the case that you should increase the amount of hours, but when you feel like you are putting in enough hours and you are not getting to your goals, you need to find, learn and apply ways by which you can increase the efficiency of those hours, rather than just thinking about I have to put in more hours, because that will help you to get to your goals better. And that is it for today's video. Thanks for watching.